video response to a video by Laura Layla mostly, but then this, sadly, I'm gonna have to call him a fucknut, made a response video. Yeps, it's me, guy. Yeps, me. Yeps, me. Anyway, too stupid is what I say. I mean, this is just the face of evil. I know it doesn't look like the face of evil. I mean, it looks like, oh, I'm just a friendly little kind of, older putz. But no, he's evil. Just an evil, evil, evil motherfucker. This is the whole fucking problem with humanity, is this kind of evil. This kind of, I'm just generic human. I'm not harmful. No, you're fucking evil. I mean, it's just, this whole right to die thing is just so goddamn irritating, stupid. The arguments are insanely stupid, right? I had a stroke, right? I did absolutely nothing to medically intervene. So essentially I was saying, if something's broken, I'm not fixing it, I'm going to die. So if I have the convenience of a medical condition that can kill me quickly, I can commit suicide essentially. But if I don't have that convenience, a mere circumstance, right, then it's somehow different. I mean, to have law that doesn't recognize fundamental logical equations is idiotic. I mean, when they are conflicting themselves, when there's an obvious hypocrisy, why aren't you forcing medical treatment on people? If you think people should live, if you think the default condition is be optimistic, live whenever possible, then why don't you impose it on these circumstantial cases? Why should somebody be allowed to circumstantially say, I'd rather die? All right, you're not going to, if the ambulance shows up at my house, I'm not letting them in my house, okay? I'm not getting into the industrial medical complex. They're never going to get their little claws on me, so they're never going to have a right to take my rights away. So it's just a circumstantial choice, all right? And this is such bullshit. I mean, medical technology is not yours. It's not something you own. This is something civilization has found. All right, and I should have a right, like using a knife and a fork, like any other part of civilization. I should use it for my needs, to serve what I value. I shouldn't have to see the world the way you see it, you fucknuts. And that can be clearly stated. I mean, if you want to give away your rights, we can give you a legal contract you sign saying, I don't ever want the right to kill myself because I can't trust that I have my mental faculties in place. Well, I would like to sign the opposite statement, that I never want one of you fucknuts to tell me what life means. I'll do it, all right? I'd rather trust me than trust you, okay? Because, yes, you're assholes, you're idiots, you're morons. You're sadistic jackasses. You don't want rights? Okay, well, take away your own rights, but stay the fuck off of mine. Stay the fuck off of my right to invest my welfare in my fucking judgment, you motherfucking cunts. Stay away from my philosophical independence from you asshole. You don't own the fucking world, shithead. You don't own the truth. And you certainly don't demonstrate it when you're guilty of overt, grotesque hypocrisy. Like I said, if you think people should live, why don't you intervene in every single case? Why don't you intervene and force people to have chemotherapy and force them to do all these other things that you don't force them to do? Because the judgment call they're making is exactly the same. The equation is exactly the same. They're simply saying, I don't really think that's worth it. Please, no thank you. The end. And there's absolutely no reason to sit there and impose unnecessary suffering when that's the end conclusion. I don't know if I should play this guy's video just because his accent is so heavy. Well, let's give it a shot.
There's an appointment with the courts today in London to try and get the law changed so that it's legal for some doctor not to assist a suicide but to carry out a suicide, to carry out euthanasia, a mercy killing.
Like there should be any distinction. I don't know why I can't pause these fucking videos. I mean, like there should be some distinction. Like there should be any difference between somebody's will, what they've stated, and whether they do it or somebody else does it. Who cares? If it's their will. That should be the law's only concern, is the individual's will being respected. That should be it. That should be the only consideration. Who performs the act? Who cares? What's the difference? If it's what the damn patient wants. I mean, this is just so stupid. I mean, are you going to sit there and call it assisted drinking when somebody holds the water cup? I mean, are you going to get that ludicrous? Fucking sending faxes to regular phone lines. Really stupid. Anyway, yeah, you're going to call it assisted drinking? I mean, if somebody has to... I mean, it's just... Well, it's just idiotic to sit there and make this huge distinction. No, there's patient, there's need for water, there's need for fluid. Fluid is given to patient. Doesn't matter whether the patient's arm actually does it. I mean, no, it doesn't to anybody rational.
His family are there representing him. He's not up there. I don't think the law will be changed. And I think some of the reasons for that is the dangers inherent in someone who cannot do the act himself getting another to do it. Killing yourself, well...
Getting another what? Idiot? Oh, so it would be an idiot who would help somebody? Or getting... Well, you must have said something else. I mean, killing yourself is the most important thing, okay? You don't get a choice about being born because assholes like you will just give birth to people. They don't consider what they're doing at all. And so you don't get no choice in it. You get stuck in the world they're living in. You live in their fucking shit neighborhood. You live by their stupid values and norms. And don't do that in my house. Blah, 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 all these fucking little jackass shit rules, okay? You can't do anything about any of that. The only thing we own is our goddamn death. Our right to say, your game sucks. You suck, you're a fucking asshole and an idiot, I hate your motherfucking cunt guts, and I'd rather be goddamn dead 5 million times than acquiesce to your life. To acquiesce to being anywhere near you, smelly pieces of shit. I have a right to goddamn hate your motherfucking cunt guts. I hate the fucking crap that you find acceptable, the world you find acceptable, your fucking comfortable chair, warm, sweatery bullshit, while everything else crashes and burns, your fucking lack of empathy, your goddamn let's eat the animal's brain, too, while we're at it. Let's throw some more fat on the grilly. Fuck you, cunts. Fuck you, you suck.
If you can do it, that's your choice.
Oh, so again, so you only have a choice. It's all going to be down to some mechanical... Damn, this fucking player sucks. Fred. Yeah. You know, it's just irritating. The keyboard doesn't work. How do you turn the video off? Fucking piece of shit. Well, I'll try this space bar again. Just for giggles. Now I lost the point. Look, there's no distinction again. Well, why make this stupid distinction? Oh, so if you got no arms and legs, we'll fuck your will. Okay? But you can have your will if you have arms and legs. And that's all you're saying. That's all you're fucking saying. Is that we'll respect your will, your rights, if you have arms and legs, but if you don't have arms and legs, we won't. I mean, you can't see how just fundamentally inane that is, that distinction is not a distinction, that it has should have no relevant meaning whatsoever to anybody who's rational. You can't see that?
In that situation, who didn't have the obvious loving family that Tony Nicholson had, if there was some unscrupulous family member or members, or if the family just themselves were in such a disordered state because of the illness that they were fed up.
Yeah, this is all like mumbo jumbo. Like you just pull this stuff out of the sky. Like this is some sort of realistic, huge goddamn problem. And I would argue that if you've raised kids who are going to maliciously suffocate you or put you out of the way, then you have already committed a crime against civilization. You've put a bunch of mass murderers into society. So you've done the world no fucking favor anyway, so maybe you should have a death sentence imposed on you. If you've raised kids sucky enough to kill you for $10,000, let's say, then in my opinion you've committed a crime, whereas you probably should be executed. You're a fucking asshole. You've done society no goddamn favor. Why should society give a rat's ass about you? You raise kids that'll kill you? well, then you're an asshole, in my opinion. And fuck you. Who cares whether you goddamn die? Because we still gotta live with your spawn in the world who are basically malicious killers of their own parents. All right, so that logic doesn't that fails. But again, it isn't about kids doing any of this stuff or anything else. It's about people being able to articulate their rights, write them down on a piece of paper and say, look, this is what I believe, you fucking cunt. Now, if you want to give away your fucking rights, you go right the fuck ahead. Okay, so if you're a disabled person or feel vulnerable somehow, or you think your kids are going to kill you, well then give away your rights. All right, say on a legal contract, never allow me to say, please kill me. Never respect that if I say it. Okay, force me to go to court to get back the right to die. Okay, you should be the one having to defend your change of opinion. All right, I shouldn't have to sit there and defend having an opinion different than yours. Fuck you. It's none of your goddamn motherfucking business in the first place. You have no fucking right to be sticking your goddamn fingers into my existence. I have a right to invest my judgment, my welfare in my judgment. Now, as long as I'm not affecting you, you fucking cunt, you have no right to take away my fucking liberty here. All right? There is no reckless steal everybody's stuff. There's no implications here except to the individuals involved, and they should have a right to say firmly, my judgment always supersedes. Okay? Yours does not. In affairs that affect me and me goddamn alone. So as long as I don't have a mountain of debt to pay off or some other circumstance, you have no right to interfere. None. It's none of your goddamn business, you fucking weasel.
Well, the whole thing, I'm not going downhill, but these people could put pressure on someone so that
they could do this, they could do that, they could explain that, yes, you're costing $6 million, and guess what? That amount of money could actually save the lives of about, I don't know, 10,000 poor kids in Africa. And that is a fact, jackass. We spend all this goddamn money keeping people alive so they can drink a little bit of water tomorrow. Okay, for no quality of life, just because they're hysterically afraid of dying. Period. There's nothing else. It's just an hysterical fear that you're all indulging. And all this waste. I mean, people have been doing this for decade after decade after decade. I watched my grandparents die like shit. My parents are likely going to die like shit because they never do a goddamn thing to fix this, so the circumstance is in a mess every goddamn fucking time. I mean, my grandfather spent 15 fucking years in a nursing home. He didn't want to be there. He wanted to die and nobody would kill him. My grandmother used to utter the words right flat to my father's face. Kill me, kill me, kill me. All right? Nothing gets done. All right? And then she finally went so crazy she didn't even know she wanted to die. I mean, the irony is pukable. And you motherfuckers just stand in the fucking way, keep talking like there's something, well, we have to prevent the miserable people from dying because they have to be forced to live. Why? Why, you asshole? If somebody can't say, I want to live, if that's not the minimum standard for your existence, what the fuck should be? If you can't say, I want to live, then you really shouldn't be fucking alive.
Felt obliged to us, but you know, they could be manipulated from above with a kind of constant force or wearing them down. Or they could even be manipulated from below. From people saying, oh, this is knocking lumps out of me, and it's to be true.
Oh, come on. How do I turn this fucking cunt video off?
This is costing money and time.
Alright, so you're talking about manipulation, and you don't think it's a little bit of a manipulation that the entire culture keeps playing this fairy tale bullshit. It keeps pretending that, you know, the bulk of our medical care isn't squandered in the last 6 months of our life. Okay, 70% of your lifetime expenditure on medicine will be wasted, okay, on the last few months of your existence, just perpetuating your suffering, okay? We're talking about houses worth of money, whole houses that people could be living in, worth of money, wasted on the last 3 or 4 months of somebody's existence. You think that's rational? You think that's sensible? I think that's preposterously, inanely idiotic. You keep living in this delusionary world where there's no consequence for this waste. And you're going to talk to me about propaganda, when the whole culture is full of this life liver, buck up, pull up your bootstraps, tomorrow's another day, tomorrow, some sort of bullshit. Well, for some people there is no fucking tomorrow. There's no light at the end of the tunnel except for a goddamn sparkling harsh pain. Okay, there's nothing, you shithead, and you have no fucking right to stand in the goddamn way of the minor progress of saying, you know what, your life is your business, and we're going to give you the right to decide how your life conducts itself, okay? And where you affect other people in some direct way, some real way, okay, then we'll intervene. But we're not going to sit there and create these preposterous arguments that there's some little cripple kid down the road that everybody's going to talk into killing himself. What a fucking crock of shit. And you goddamn know it. The pressure to kill yourself is, where is it? Show me where this pressure is imposed on somebody in some sort of horrific way. Show it to me, shithead.
Everybody's suffering and you're suffering, and could you ask doctor if he could, that type of thing. So how do you guard against that? Well, I see you guarding against that by not making the law. Now, this means that people like Tony Nicholson are going to suffer.
Yeah, it means that you're going to sentence them to this horrible sentence. You're going to violate their will. You're going to violate their right to invest their welfare in their judgment. You're going to ignore the integrity of their philosophical perspective. You're just going to spit on them and say, fuck you, suffer, because I have this delusion that a bunch of orphans somewhere are all going to be driven to suicide if I don't sit there and prevent you from saying I would like to retain my rights. All right, I would like to sign a piece of paper saying I would like to retain my rights. And I'd certainly like to retain them over your opinion of what my rights should be, or your opinion of what the value of my life is, because frankly I think your opinion is a cup of shit.
But not needlessly, because and the reason I say not needlessly is because there's law.
Oh, you're dying for all the potential victims of imposed suicide. Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm sure you could calculate the trillions. It's in the trillions of people who are being coerced to commit suicide. Happens all the time. I see it every fucking day. Somebody's trying to coerce somebody into killing themselves. I mean, what a crock of goddamn shit.
There that doesn't allow this to happen. Other people will benefit from this. People who don't really want to go.
Name one.
Not make the decision on their own.
Name one.
Pressure of their family. So.
Yeah, name one of these people that are going to benefit. Show me one of these people. Show me one of these wheelchair-bound, completely delusional, fuck-nutted, out of their fucking mind people that you're going to save from the horror, okay, of an expedient, humane death. I mean, that's what we're talking about, right? We're talking about everybody's going to die anyway. So no, don't die right. Don't die on purpose. Don't die as gracefully as possible. No. Die sloppy, stupid, and naturally. Because the fuck nut in the goddamn sweater says so. Yeah. Fuck. Fuck.
This is it. It's not a clear-cut decision. I mean, it's one of these things. There's grey areas.
Yeah, I don't see any gray area. The guy has a philosophy. He has every right to have that philosophy when it comes to his personal welfare respected. The end. There's nothing any more complicated than that. This has nothing to do with anybody else. It has to do with him. And it has to be his right to act on his volition. Now, if you want to make the case that he's incompetent or he's being manipulated, then make that case. We should have a procedure that allows assholes like you to show up and say, wait, I'm going to throw a red flag for 24 hours, and you're going to have to do some investigation. And even if you force the patient to actually have to pay for the investigation to make sure they're not being coerced, I'd even say that's okay. All right? because I know there's plenty of people who would, I mean, if there was a charity out there that paid for investigations to get fucknuts like you, little mammy sissy pantses, out of their goddamn life, yeah, I'd pay to have that charity pay for it, just to make sure, just to shove it up your ass and say, look, nanny sissy pants, mind your own fucking business. And then it'd be really good too if the law just said, look, if you do your nanny sissy pants thing and you interfere in somebody else's right to act, to invest their own welfare and their own judgment, okay, and you do it and you're overruled because there was no violation, there was no conspiring to kill anybody, there was no coercion, there was none of this bullshit, this lie that you contrived, then you're never allowed to fucking make a claim again. All right, because it's just a philosophical disagreement. You life livers think there's something valuable in playing this stupid cunt of a bullshit game, and you think the default position should be live, 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 even if you're dead. Even if everything that makes you alive is gone, still live, just for the sake of it, because there's some ambiguous boogeyman out there that's going to coerce everybody to commit suicide. No, there's going to be a rational argument made that when you waste $6 million on one patient, that's essentially the same thing in a world of 7 billion people as killing 10,000 kids. Because that's the fucking truth. $6 million will save 10,000 kids. That's a fact, fucker. You don't want to deal with that fact, then you're an asshole. Period. An ass fucking hole. This is the last thing you motherfucking cunts should be worrying about. What you should be worried about is your goddamn prime ministers who suck George Bush's dick and go around the world killing people. You should worry about that, you stupid fucking cunts. You shouldn't be worried about some guy who has no life and you're going to tell him he has to live for the disabled people and for the ambiguous victims of coercive suicide, who you can't even put on a lineup. You're not going to give me any goddamn names, are you? You're never going to give me a goddamn name of somebody who was coerced to commit suicide. You fucking bastards.
But you've got to come down on one side of the fence or the other. That's what the...
That's right. You're either an ethical, decent human being who gives a fuck, okay, or you're a sadistic motherfucker who thinks you have a right to tell somebody else they should eat the suffering. No one has a right to eat it for you, shithead, or even for your fucking society. Even if all of society was going to blow up and die, it's still, in principle, the right of the individual who was never asked permission to be here in the fucking first place. They still should have the right to invest their own fucking welfare in their own fucking judgment without you fucking assholes interfering one goddamn little tiny bit. Mind your own fucking business, you stinking weaselly cunt. Alright, little add-on. So in Laura Layla's video, which was pretty passive, pretty ambiguous, like, is there maybe a threat, and maybe we can't, blah, 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 the same kind of ambiguous boogeyman of all these people that are going to get killed by their kids, I guess, or are killed by some, I don't know, some group in society that wants to kill the disabled. Yeah, let's go out and kill Tiny Tim because his life is not worth living. Yeah, there's whole organizations just devoted to driving Tiny Tim to suicide. I mean, this fake bogeyman they create. And the fact is that through policy you can protect all of those interests by just simply creating a living will where you get to say, I like life, I think life is super cool, and please don't let me ever say something different. Now, you want to give away your rights, you want to give away your right to have a different opinion, then fine, go ahead, give away your rights. I want to retain my rights, and I don't want you bastards, I'm not going to repeat myself. Anyway, but the point was she recited these other countries and their laws, and it's just such a lie. Okay, there is no right to suicide in this world. There isn't. And then she raised Canada, and Canada is completely undecisive. Okay, nothing's been decided by Canada. All the court did was say, okay, no, this is a subject you're going to have to write better legislation on, okay, because what you've given me isn't good enough. So the court gave the legislature 1 year to write a law on assisted suicide, okay? There's no right to assisted suicide in Canada for a year at least. Okay, so if the legislature does nothing, then there'll be a right to die. But if the legislature acts, we know they're going to modify it, and they're going to control it, and they're going to restrict it. And the only person who got the right to die was one of the plaintiffs in the case. So one Canadian has the right to die. The rest of Canada does not. All right, so it's just a lie to say they now have endorsed assisted suicide, because they haven't, or the right to die. The further point is, shit, I wanted to make a further point. All right, assisted suicide, right to die in court. Something about the court thing. The legislature will decide to change the law, assisted suicide. Yeah, well, it's not coming to me. Damn. But anyway, so it's not what people are saying it is, okay? It isn't a change in the law yet. You're gonna wait a year before it's a change in the law. And, oh yeah, in the court's decision, it is the real game breaker anyway. Because it basically just says, well, if you're clinically depressed, you have no rights. And now you tell me, if you're in a circumstance where you want to die, aren't you likely to be clinically depressed? I mean, realistically, you're going to be like all happy and enthusiastic and having a great time while you're dying of something? I mean, if you're horribly sick, you don't think you're going to be clinically depressed? I mean, I can just use all the people I've seen die as examples. As they're going through the dying process, there's periods where they're just hard clinically depressed. I mean, they're miserable, both physically and psychologically. And then there's other periods where they're feeling a little better, psychologically, things are a little more hopeful. But I mean, there's definitely whole periods of time where they're clinically fucking depressed. And so we're just going to discount their judgment because they're appropriately depressed. You're not allowed to be depressed. That's what basically the court has said. You're not allowed to be depressed and have your own judgment. Your judgment's obviously perverted if you're depressed. If you're rationally depressed by a horrible circumstance, you're fucking a lunatic. You can't be trusted. This is an idiotic, nonsensical, it's retarded. This is retarded, and it's coming out of courts. Courts are saying things this fucking retarded. So what fucking hope is there? No, fuck you people. Fuck you people. I hope it happens to you. That's all I can goddamn say. I wish there was justice in the universe, then it would all fall on you fuckers. Instead of telling somebody else they should die for your principles, you should suffer and die for your principles. You're the ones who should impose it on your goddamn selves. You fucking crazy, sadistic lunatics. Fuck you.